Intense first quarter, a lot of defensive pressure. We'll see some tactical battles as well, some matchups. Both brilliant coaches that love the tactical side of things, so we'll keep an eye on that as well. But yeah, the first quarter is going to set up this contest.
I think that's the opportunity for the Bulldogs to get themselves in the game. The Saints aren't a quick starting team. They don't fly out of the blocks. So if the Bulldogs can get the first couple on the board, all of a sudden you get your confidence up. Everyone's feeling good about themselves. They get themselves in the game, but gee, you don't want to start trailing early and then think, here we go again, we've got to dig ourselves out.
There's one man stands between victory and the other side of the coin for the Saints. It's that guy there. I would be devastated if I was a Saints fan if they weren't tagging him, if they weren't team tagging him. Everywhere he goes, lay a bump on him. Like what we see what happens with Max Gawn every third week or against certain opponents. Don't accept that he's going to get a clean run across the ground. I'd be checking his run. A team buy-in to wear down Bontempelli.
Just one area of the ground we haven't mentioned, Jonesy, which will play a factor. The Dogs have been so good intercepting marks in their defensive 50. Liam Jones, Buku Khamis having a really good year. The Saints can get in the habit of their forwards getting out of position, getting caught high, especially with some inexperience with Sharman and Caminiti down there. Mitch Owen's still pretty young. So if they do get caught bombing the ball and not using it well going inside 50, Liam Jones and Khamis can feast on those intercept marks and set the game up for the Dogs from the back half. So St Kilda have to be really careful how they use the footy going inside 50.
Roof closed at Marvel Stadium. No excuses for poor kicking tonight. And Rossline touched on that, Jace, about some teams that are doing quite well this year. It's on the back of really good accuracy, and while inaccuracy is costing others.
There's not a coach in the competition that doesn't want better conversion in front of goal. Have a look at that, Ed Richards in the middle for the Western Bulldogs. So there's a harder body that might be able to do something in and under for them.
OK, let's head to Marvel Stadium for the opening bounce, round 6, St Kilda and the Western Bulldogs. A huge game. They're both 2 and 3. Let's head to the bounce now.
Perfect bounce in the middle we go. Marshall with a little win there. Bontempelli with a backhander. Little knock on, Saints first in. Sinclair was there, got the handball out. Now they go forward here, the centre half forward, looking for the big spoil. Duray managed to get a fist to it. Steele back to Wanganeen-Milera, gobbled up there by Bontempelli, got it to Waitman. Waitman over the top. Can they go forward here? They can. Off the boot of Gallagher. Gallagher, not a great kick. Directed to centre half forward and Battle marks.
Battle with a new addition this week. Little Bobby joined the family. Congratulations to Josh and Casey. Marshall's kick no good. Dale intercepts.
50 metres.
And 50.
Over the mark.
And you heard it from the umpire, so Garcia.
3 metres past. If he goes fast here, Dale, he'll have Naughton with a mismatch. Long and deep.
Play on. Dale moves it quickly inside 50, and that goes exactly where you suggested it should, Daisy Thomas. Onto the chest of Aaron Naughton.
Just a bit quicker to reset the ground with the Western Bulldogs. As soon as they realised the 50 was going in their favour, head down back towards goal. Naughton gets some serious space, Battle doing his best, who's got the match up to get in and try and body, but just found a nice pocket of space.
6 goals, 5 in 5 games this season, Aaron Naughton. He gets some early accuracy going. Yes, he can. Dogs get the first. The Western Bulldogs away. That looked a very fluent kick as well from Aaron Naughton. Going to need a big game from him tonight. We'll need him to take his opportunities. No Jamari Ugle-Hagan. A fantastic service of Bailey Dale. Capped off with a neat finish from Naughton.
Well, Daisy, it was a great call. Aaron Naughton set up the play again, but it was Bailey Dale. You want to get in the hands of your good ball users. He got it from the launch zone, and Naughton used the space. It was a great start for him, just what he needs tonight. It's going to be a big night for him. The Dogs are going to need him.
So Marshall and English, this time English with a little palm down. Dogs got the numbers here. Saints have the win out of the middle. Windhager with the first handball out and go to half forward here. Trying to sweep it on. Did a pretty good job, Filippo. The Dogs, Duray was caught just as he went to handball. Filippo again, little handball out the back door from Ross. Caught up with Brad Hill. He was dragged to the ground and made no real effort. So it'll be Joe Hannison with the footy at half back. Immediately to Treloar.
Treloar looks to switch and then decides the more direct route to half forward. Rory Lobb into the side, and that is chopping the arms.
Bulldogs.
10 goals in his past 3 games in the VFL, Rory Lobb, and gets his opportunity with no Ugle-Hagan. Goes in the English direction. Umpire lets it go. English felt like he got one in the back from Wanganeen-Milera.
It's pretty smartly played in the end. A serious mismatch, as we can see, with the height, but just taking the body, just shifting the big man off it. He played for the free kick rather than using his strength to try and mark the ball.
So English can't get the front position. Marshall held that very well. Ground level ball. Ross, quick flick out. McRae to Bailey Dale. Long ball, top of the square. West front and centre, big boys at the back. No one could get hold of it. Wilkie was there. West is driven into the ground by Sinclair. Ball up.
Thanks, Riley. Cheers. Ruck's Rowan. Sam.
So Darcy to go in ruck against Marshall. Through the legs of Wilkie. Burns is there to clean up for the Saints. Waitman's desperate lunge. Cleared out to the half-back line. Owens and Williams. Owens used his body well. Windhager. Burns involved again. Nice sidestep on Williams. Takes some territory. Kicks around the outer wing. It bowls past Higgins. Dale is back. Filippo gets a hold of him. Big trouble, Dale holding the ball.
Advantage.
And play onto advantage.
So Hill does with a beautiful sideways ball setting up Ross. Didn't quite get the bounce he'd hoped for. Had to go back a little bit and concede a bit of ground. Trying to get around one. Kick is good. It was well done. Played within his capabilities. There, Ross, and an opportunity for Caminiti.
Just kept moving his forwards there. Definitely helped out the kicker, but Ross took his time to get it to boot.
30-metre kick here for Caminiti. Climatic conditions in here not a factor. Tiny little bit of dew on the ground, not a lot. Perfect night for footy here. So Anthony Caminiti to even the ledger early in this Thursday night contest. Good looking kick. No problems, that's a goal. So goal apiece here in the opening minutes. Caminiti, nice fluent looking kick there as well. Always good for a key forward with the responsibility of goals to be able to, first of all, win the footy. Secondly, kick well early.
This passage of play would please Ross Lyon no end. Just numbers there. Look at the 4v1 at the ball, and then the spread once they realised they'd won the ball back. Everybody getting out goal side. Turnover's going to be the premium tonight, and what you can do going in towards this unset defence on that occasion popped up and presented beautifully to the kicker.
Marshall rises early. Treloar and Jones.
Mine.
Jones coming into the side tonight for the Saints. It's the one change with King out.
Come down here. Come down.
They lock up again. Here is Jones. Treloar latches onto him. And no escape.
It looks like ready. Ed Richards is the replacement for Libber in there to start the game.
Ruck share it. Pops around everywhere. Spills to Bontempelli. His kick to half forward finds Lobb. Open forward line. Naughton doubling back to the goal square. Well placed here. Good spoil. Wilkie over the top. Battle couldn't take it. Gallagher in the pocket. Takes on Wilkie. Squaring ball along the ground. Wanganeen-Milera cleans it up. Stocker comes away to the back flank to a one-on-one. Dale and Owens. It gets to the back. And is out of play.
Unbelievable efforts there from Cal Wilkie. Both occasions. So easy to get an arm and give away a free kick there for a chop. Didn't take his eyes off the footy.
Was a good kick to him, though, wasn't it?
It was a great kick to advantage, but even the follow-up, well done. Good to see a leader standing up early.
Marshall again in front. Richards. Steele. English had to get rid of it. Steele knocked it out. Ross and now Windhager. Around the corner, Dogs been strong on that wing. Bailey Dale. Thomas. Little ball to Bailey Williams. Within striking distance of Naughton here. The lead comes from Lobb. Strong in the air, off hands taken away by Marshall. Gave to Steele, who really didn't want it. Little poke through there from Cordy out wide, and they've got a bit of space. Can Windhager find a way out?
Kicks towards Membry on the wing. Went the chest mark. Jones affected the spoil. Johannesen. Back to Karmas. Shares it again with Johannesson. And now Treloar. Dogs diffuse that. Vandermeer leads to centre-half back, but it's a lateral kick and a bit of an untidy one. Bramble will have to clean it up. His hand pass misses Vandermeer. He cleans it up. Did well to get it to Harms. Harms' hand pass set a task of Garcia. He's mown down. Bramble takes the spill and drives it in the Naughton direction. It gets through him. And Stocker, a little unsure where to go, so he feeds it by hand initially to Hill. And Hill comes to centre-half back, not 15 to Windhager.
So Windhager now exploring the side where Wilson has set himself, right in front of the interchange area. Well done. In the end, it was by Gallagher. Kept it alive. Saints working overtime here in defence. Wanganeen-Milera, short ball to Hill. Told to go. Windhager. Short, Burns. The run here of Wilson. Wilson, a direct look at goal. Good looking deep ball. Jones will do his best to defend here. Keeping his feet on this occasion is Sharman. Got the little handball back inside Caminiti. Had it smothered. Bonampelli quick to release it. Did well to O'Donnell, and O'Donnell got it on the boot. He's kicked it out of bounds in the full.
Burns is going to take the free kick. Lead comes from Bonner.
Stand. Stay one. Stay one.
Back into the corridor. Cordy. Battle. Has a thumping right foot. Sends it deep. Up in front, Jones. Spoil made by Caminiti at the back. Wilson dangerous. Gave it off. Around the corner from Steele. Jones, as he's been doing all season, intercepts. Poor kick towards Zach Jones. Dogs will be OK. Treloar, Williams, and now Treloar again.
Shifts the pressure to Bailey Dale. Bailey Dale really forced to go down the line here, and it was Naughton well done. He was 1 on 3, and if he'd lost that, it was coming back for the Saints.
He's going to have to be patient here. Only the one pair ahead of him is going to look for the switch now, explore this open side.
So Jones just a little shaky on that last possession. Johannesson, Bramble. Played well last week as well. Memory of the good chase. Bramble looking for lob. Look at the two coming on him. And able to squirt it away. Let's get down to Aaron.
Yeah, guys, the speed and contest of this game is absolutely red hot. The boys that come off look absolutely exhausted already. So plenty of speed on this game tonight.
Thanks, Aaron. Thrown back in. English edges out Marshall. Sinclair gets a hand pass. Johannesson contest with Garcia of St Kilda. Hugo Garcia playing just his second game.
It does feel like a bit of a game of ping pong at the moment between the 50s. Both sides taking a couple of risks, not coming off at the moment.
Knocked to the side. Bontempelli goes after it, shoots it back, misses Johannesson. Owens gave him a little shove. Steele tackled by Dale.
So what is it, Joel? You're saying it's been played between both half-back lines. Is it the fact that each club doesn't have dominant forwards, or what happens when they get the forward target?
Just look, Daisy picked it out beautifully, but they're getting numbers behind the ball, so they're usually kicking into a little bit of an outnumber. This is a tough ground to get stoppages at, and we're seeing here both sides are clogging it up with their high half forwards.
Block, Western Bulldogs.
English to take the free kick. In these scenarios, is it almost like you need a goal to get the ground set up 6-6-6 again to prevent the numbers flooding back to the same extent?
And a little bit of this will draw the St Kilda defence out. So if you can continue to change an angle, possess the footy, rather than kicking it long and strong.
Have a look at them. They're not getting sucked up towards the ball at the moment, are they?
Well drilled.
So Jones finds Richards. Richards has lob at full forward. Goes in that direction. Lob one-on-one. Spoil from Cordy. Burns caught by lob. That ferocity will impress the coach. Naughton's attempted soccer. Didn't get boot to ball, and it's rushed through by Stocker.
I think what you just saw then was the Bulldogs try and build it up to about 70 metres out. Then they have a launch zone where they want to go into sort of 10 metres out from goal. They're not willing to drop it any shorter than that.
Sinclair, in the meantime, has played on from full back and tried to put the ball to Sharman. Richards able to repel it. Now Bonampelli's got it all to do in between two St Kilda players, and no prior opportunity. So umpire Gene Fagner will pull that up.
Rory Lobb back in the side, although hasn't taken or clunked any really cleanly so far, providing a real target up forward, getting himself involved in the game.
Sometimes think he should give the bodywork away and run and jump at the footy.
Highest point.
He looks like he could be successful like that, especially with the space. And he's, as you say, he's had a couple of good opportunities. And a nice percentage of the ball is coming his way at the moment. So here we are with Garcia. You can see the big men in the square, Lobb and Naughton there trying to escape out of it. Waitman lurking around, West as well. So Dale, high footy, top of the square. Naughton, almost. Darcy there as well. Wilkie, Richards, kept it alive, West. Good little smother in the end from Higgins. Has to banana the ball out, but it's going to go down the throat of Bramble, and I reckon he's within distance here. Very nearly played on and took a step. So Bramble need to be able to kick it 50 from here.
Yep, stand there.
Every St Kilda player in the back 50 at the moment, all 18 of them.
I won't say it's a great sight, Joel, but that's the way it goes.
Me either, BT.
So Bramble just putting it to lead of Naughton. Did well, both hands again. Waitman taken high. Wilkie misjudged it. Waitman will get the free, 20 out.
Great attack from a small forward, getting to a crumbing position. Just went harder. Get a good look at it there. That left hand just coming above the shoulder. Cody Waitman's been in really good form. He's hitting those contests at real pace, but looking very dangerous. We saw on that occasion, looping round multiple leads.
There's a player that comes to mind that probably wouldn't have got that free. Here is Waitman. Dogs have got a couple, and a nice little start for them. Their supporters delighted.
Nothing would please a coach more than Bramble going back and knowing his limitations, put it to a really dangerous spot. And Aaron Naughton going for that grab again. He's getting so close tonight. He's looking so dangerous so early, and Cody Waitman gets a score on the board.
So Marshall and English, two of the premier ruckmen in the game, go at it in the middle. Marshall took it, got boots the ball. Treloar pinched it, gave to McRae. Under pressure. Tumble punt forward. Harms, hand pass Garcia. Garcia through the 50. Great vision. Waitman. Riley Garcia has been tearing it up in the VFL. It's his first senior game for the Dogs this year, but
have a look at Liam Stocker here, just behind the point post there. He's the direct opponent of Cody Waitman. Got caught chasing the ball, not knowing where his man was. Waitman's smart enough just to loop out the back. He's going to have no impact on that. Liam Stocker needs to go to man first.
He was goalless last week for the first time this season, Cody Waitman. He's now kicked 2 in a minute tonight and set the Dogs away. It was excellent vision and execution from Garcia. 36 and 2 goals, 31 and a goal, 36 and a goal in 3 VFL games before getting his opportunity tonight, Garcia. And Waitman, he's a dangerous small forward and usually finishes.
When working out tonight how the Dogs were going to be in the game, it was all going to be about their one with the contested ball. In the middle was the old Dogs, Jack McRae, Treloar, Bontempelli in there. It's great to see Garcia put it on the chest, make the right choice into Cody Waitman.
13 goals this year for Waitman, 8 of them coming in first quarters. So a good start-up. Marshall again, he's really operating with great body work in the middle at the moment, won most of those contests. Here is McRae. Waitman again. This time Wilkie did give him a little bit of a push. Stocker at the back to tidy up with a lovely weighted kick. Finds an opportunity with Darcy Wilson. So Wilson at half-back just wanting to slow it down. The Saints wanting to seed it out the back door, but he's forced to go a little more direct. Marshall couldn't hold it in. Here's Bonampelli swoops, gave it off to Williams. Handball over the top to Waitman for his third in 3 minutes. Doesn't go for it. Little one here gives it off. Caught was Vandermeer. West at ground level went in, got the hard footy and was somehow dispossessed, and the Saints now in control.
Marshall's wobbler. Oh, what a mark. A stretch from Higgins that almost dislocated his shoulder. Hill comes forward, kicks towards Caminiti on a searching lead. Jones there with him. O'Donnell lends assistance. 25-metre hand pass. Dale goes back for it. He's initially got Duray on the way out, who's got Williams if he wants him.
Stand, play on.
Worked it well, the Bulldogs. West feeds it to Bailey Dale, running past the interchange and dumping it in the lob direction. One-on-one. Another spoil from Cordy. A row from Waitman and a finish that is off the top shelf. 3 for Cody. Well, we saw this at Ballarat against the Gold Coast. He got hot early and there was just about no stopping him. He kicked 6 that day. He's got 3 here in the opening term. And that's your classic small forwards goal.
And he was so happy, Al, that there was no one at the top of the square that he had to centre it to. Yeah. So he had the licence to go for home.
Long ball coming in from Bailey Dale. That's his 7th kick, going at 100% efficiency. But that crumb, that is class. Rory Lobb again involved. He was the target. He worked out the back. Just look at the positioning of Waitman. Hitting it at pace. Getting a lot of separation from Liam Stocker. Be interesting to see, Joel, when Ross gets a message out to him to either play closer to see if he gives him another chance or if he moves the magnets and gives somebody else the task.
Looks like Wilkie there at the moment, Days. May have already been moved, has it?
Yep.
Looks like that, and that's a nice matchup.
Garcia, little one here to Vandermeer, fighting hard at ground level. Garcia went and got it again. Just it out to Duray, and Duray's all tidied up there. Fast approaching 200 games, Duray, 196 tonight.
Drag it in. St.Kilda. Stand, Taylor.
So Burns has won the free here, right on the logo. And we'll just slow things down a little for the Saints. Haven't had a lot of ball and hasn't spent a lot of time there other than the fleeting opportunity. English, McRae, Harms saying, come at me.
Stand.
And Duray does.
Goes to half forward. Darcy with a run. A jump, didn't take it. Naughton weighted it down. Has a bounce. How about a finish for the big fellow? Oh, they're on tonight, the Dogs. They are right on. A 25-point lead for the Western Bulldogs. 4 consecutive goals. And they're finishing their work. Naughton with a couple. Waitman with 3. The Western Bulldogs have brought some serious energy to Thursday night football.
Naughton, the beneficiary of a turnover. You spoke before, Joel, about the Bulldogs getting the ball in deep where they don't want to turn it over in that go zone. It seems like St Kilda are doing the exact opposite.
Yeah, it's just such an unforgiving ground, Daisy, that you can move it so quickly off the back of a turnover, and the Bulldogs are working it through so well.
First time the Saints have conceded 5 1/4 this year. Ross did speak to me, in fact, before the game about getting off to poor starts. And it's happening here again. O'Donnell, I think it was, underneath all of that. And he'd be thinking, what have I got to do to get these guys up and going early?
A bit of territory would be nice for them. Get it in that deeper area. Try and lock it in for a couple of entries. Give yourself a second chance rather than just have it go in short, shallow, and then come straight back out.
Burns. So English again. So no success in this area of the ground for the Saints as yet.
And it is off the back of the pressure that the Bulldogs are putting on them. They're dumping the ball to this area of the ground.
Gallagher goes towards Darcy and Naughton. Marshall stood his ground. Like the big pillar and took the mark. Windhager coming up for his 10th possession in this first quarter, Marcus Windhager. Wilkie. He looks not to feed Wanganeen-Milera. Now does by foot. Battles on in the bullseye, but Milera looks laterally. Bonner. Battle. The fake from Bonner. Took some ground, cut through a couple. Drives them inside the 50. Mark taken by O'Donnell.
But that's what you're talking about, Days. Just a little bit of the footy, a little bit of control.
Yeah, there's a sign that's gone up on the bench that says a half, so I'm not sure if that's try and get some territory in forward half. But just build the ball up, make the Bulldogs defend a little bit. We've seen how good they are on transition and when the ball's live. The Saints just try and slow it down a bit. Even this is a win. Force this kick to go long down the line.
So what are you saying that sign could represent? A half?
A half is in, let's lock it in our forward half.
Right.
So build the ball up, possess the ball, even keep the Dogs here rather than trying to let them slice and dice.
Karmas here in the middle.
Geez, BT, you'd be a genius if you could work out what the signs mean, to be honest.
I'm going to invent well, I'm not going to invent, I have a program on signage. Out the back door they come again. Darcy's got a little opportunity here and they get another one. So they've got 6 in the quarter, the Dogs. Still 3.5 minutes to go. 5 straight for the Dogs. All their main forwards contributing. Talls and Smalls. 31-point lead already. This is devastating for the Saints, and it's getting out of control.
Well, it's all been off the back of turnover. You know, they've kicked 31 points now off the back of it, and again to that launch zone, and Sam Darcy gets the rewards this time, but Saints have got to look to build the ball up better than what they are at the moment because they're giving too much easy ball back. That's
some serious bang for buck. They've had less turnovers, but generated the 5-1 to just the 1 goal.
It's been the Saints' forte too, Daisy. 66% of their scores this season have been from opposition turnovers. English rocks back in the tackle. Richards brings down Marshall.
Yeah, mate, yeah. Thanks, Ron. Rowan, Tim.
Good look at the forward set up there, Earl.
Jones out of the pack. Turned it over.
Stand.
Dale.
Stay out, guys. Stay out. Thank you. Me.
Johannesen.
So this should give us a good look at the difference in what both sides are trying to do. Trying to hit this longer and deeper than sort of 40 out.
Thumped in. Naughton from behind, edged out. Cordy couldn't take the mark. Danger time again. Vandermeer in the pocket. Has a look. Across the face. The way they're going, it almost felt like that could go through, BT.
It did. I think he might have been caught in 2 minds there, where to put that.
I think he should have been caught in 2 minds, but he was only caught in 1.
Yeah.
He was thinking...
That's probably a better description. Might get a little razz about that. So Wilson, Karmas, athletic.
Stand.
Growing in confidence, this man, as each week goes by.
Get on.
Still well under 20 games to his name, but really starting to look for goods. Johannesen doing some good stuff tonight. Jones, you can see how compressed their backline are up the ground here. Vandermeer sends it long and deep. West has got wheels and marks deep in the pocket. Another guy that's been terrific this year, Riley West, has been given an opportunity. Felt that his opportunities were restricted prior to this year, but he has been doing so many little things. There was a thing that he did down here before where he just drew the defender to the footy in that little sneaky handball. High footy IQ is Riley West.
End zone.
Centering ball here. All the bigs are there. Free kick's going to be plucked out. It'll go the Dogs' way. So everything happening. Look at all the tall forwards putting up their hand. Darcy put his hand up. Naughton put his up. And I think I saw Rory about to put his up. They all wanted a piece of that. And Ross just swinging back on the chair now. What a start for the Dogs. They've kicked 5 straight, 6 for the quarter. Naughton comes in for his 3rd. Point blank range for a 37-point lead before quarter time. He's got 3. Wow, that's all I'll say. This is as good as the Dogs have put it together for a while. Everything clicking for them. Forwards seem to have enormous amount of space. And just about every one of them are targets at the moment.
We spoke about the Saints getting all their numbers behind the footy, but they have to defend. The issue at the minute is they're guarding grass, allowing hit-ups like that, and then rolling to areas. There may be every person on the field behind the kicker, but if somebody doesn't defend, you end up doing absolutely nothing and allow these large pockets of space, which the Western Bulldogs at the moment are taking.
200th career goal comes up for Aaron Naughton in the first quarter here as Bontempelli and Treloar send it in his direction again. Towed forward initially by Darcy. Wilkie gets it, gives to Battle. Sinclair under pressure. All the Saints defence under pressure. That should be a free kick against Vandermeer. Wilkie didn't get it. Jones just kept it into Windhager. He's taken out by Treloar. The Dogs kicking 7 goals in the first quarter against the Saints for the 4th time in their history. They've never kicked 8 against St Kilda in an opening term.
And as that goal was going through, Luke Beveridge got to everyone on the bench and just made sure he was riding the wave at the moment.
Windhager around the corner out of defence. No one got hands to it. Johannesson, left-hand handball, didn't get a clean strike on it. Duray collared. Ball comes out. Umpire lets it go. Higgins, Hill. Sharman's little chip and chase. Touch ball. Owens crashes through. Hill will come and collect one-handed silkily. Time running out for the Saints. Sharman, one last kick inside the 50. Jones buffets it away. Sharman follows up, but that is quarter time. And a quarter of thorough Bulldog dominance.
So he's taking his chances, and you're right. When he gets on a roll, he often ends up with 5 or 6. So interesting that he's starting on the bench. I've got a man with 3 goals next to his name. I'm starting him on the ground, Sarah.
Square. We spoke about it before the game, accuracy and how important that is. 7 goals won is sublime.
Yeah, and Ross mentioned it. He said, look, there's a couple of teams going really well with accuracy. He said the Saints and the Bulldogs had been inaccurate. Well, all of a sudden, when you kick straight, look at the reward you get for the effort. And they have got their tails up in the air. It's now a big challenge for the Saints to dig in and start to claw their way back into the contest.
So a sigh of relief for Western Bulldogs fans right around the country. Still a long way to go.
Yep.
What is St Kilda thinking right now?
Well, right now, they're just saying, let's forget the first 30 minutes. We couldn't play any worse. Let's start again. It's a 3-quarter match. We're going to win those 3 quarters. And traditionally, they're very slow starters. And the Bulldogs have led at quarter time twice this year. They're the 2 games that they've won. So they're going to be hard to run down. But they've got to get the ball at the source. They've got to start winning some centre clearances and get the ball in their forward line and stop the turnovers. 6 of the 7 goals for the Bulldogs have come from turnovers. They've got to use the ball a bit better.
St Kilda are so good defensively usually. It's so unusual to see a team pile on the goals against them. We can see there Jack Sinclair in the middle as we head to the Bounce second term action coming up Thursday night footy on Fox from Marvel Stadium.
Thoroughly outplayed by the Dogs so far. Hit hard by Marshall. Gallagher gets it though. Feeds it defensively. Treloar. His non-preferred left to the wing. Up in front, unable to mark it, was Vandermeer. Owens. Bonner. Good kick. Steele to Hill. Hill uncertain where he wants to go. Switches towards Marshall, but the kick really favours Harms. Marshall reaches over the top, makes it contest. Dale, English, now Harms. Darcy the target, one-on-one with Wilkie. Wanganeen-Milera couldn't take possession. Garcia is lurking, but Wilkie collects it. Dragged down by Garcia. Darcy dives in as well. Pulled out by Garcia. Releases it. Windhager, Steele. And now Wanganeen-Milera gets around lob, and away they come, but intercepted by Bailey Dale.
Playing well, Bailey Dale. Drive this one deep, right in front of Naughton, who can run and jump. Both hands on it again, and almost opportunity. When he looks back at the tape of that one, he'll wish he opened his hands because he had it covered.
He's had some really good looks, but that's all on the back of territory. That's 17-8 now, the inside 50s in the Dogs' favour. Setting up really well here behind the ball as well.
Marshall and Darcy. 3 players playing out there tonight. It's over 200, I think, for the Dogs. All of them a chance to be in the forward line at one time. Here's Jones. Outmanoeuvred his man. Now O'Donnell through centre half back. Very careful kick, but straight down the throat of Bonner.
Got to go fast here.
Crowd urging him to go. Now Steele deep into the pocket. Might get there in the end, and it does. And Caminiti deep in the pocket here. Thought about the centering, but it was only ever a proposal for him.
I think he's a right foot check side operator too, BT. But we see there Bradley Hill had the ball earlier, didn't want to go forward, went laterally, turned it over. That's the opportunity to go back. When you do get a nice turnover yourself, go. There should be players out. Just trust yourself.
The only Saint to hit the scoreboard so far in this game. A very difficult kick. Looks like he's going the drop punt. Going to steer it through. Needs a bit of left to right. Not going to get it. Tough kick.
Low percentage in the end, a drop punt from there. See the modern player so good at either stepping out onto your opposite or having a go at that check side. The drop punt's probably the third option if you're going to play percentages.
Move outside 5. High on, no 15.
English
High on.
to Dale. Dale told to keep that ball moving. Back to English.
Yours.
Goes towards Naughton, pushing up the ground as Daisy Thomas suggested he would. McRae. Lob caught from behind by Cordy. Crowd wanted holding the ball. They're a little restless. The Saint faithful, they're a little incredulous.
Aaron Naughton getting the opportunity to go up the ground and play that true centre half forward role with the amount of time Sam Darcy's spending out of that full forward zone.
Richards got his kick smothered. Gets it back from Harms. Vandermeer feeds Bontempelli when he gets an open look from this kind of range. He doesn't often miss, but he does here.
Guys, interesting matchup for Bontempelli. He's got Seb Ross started on him in that second quarter, but still going to him. So a few combinations.
Hill. Karmas, big spoil, very athletic. Through the hands of Wilson here. Sinclair now. A little bit of pressure on him, but still managed to manoeuvre the ball in favour of Caminiti. Long way from home. Centering kick is nice. Filippo.
And hold him. Stand.
Still too far out to score. Players flood back.
Well.
Little lead from Membry. That's ignored. Filippo goes long and deep. Owen's got up. Out the back door. Sinclair almost. Higgins was he tackled high. Richards there. Umpire says no. Bontempelli smoothly tidies it up. Tries to drill the ball to Vandermeer. Windhager's got it to Steele. Steele took him on. Faked that he was going to handle it. Didn't get rid of it. Harms nailed him in the tackle.
So is this Higgins lifting the arm and the umpire noticing that, Joel? Is that why he didn't get the free kick?
It does look like that, Al. Just got to drive through his legs, make sure he gets through the exit.
Harms to Naughton. Playing in front of Wanganeen-Milera. Kicks towards Darcy. Wilkie's got to make the spoil. Did enough. Hill. Doesn't have a good option. Gets himself in a bind, but navigates it well.
Outside 5.
Bonner.
Line.
Marshall. This looks encouraging. Hill again. Goes deep towards Caminiti. Jones lost his footing, but somehow still imposed. Higgins hand passes to Jones. And now Bontempelli.
Bontempelli a little heavy for Naughton. Wanganeen-Milera over the top, so the Saints making a concerted effort here. The smother by Treloar impressive. Can they unload? Naughton got nothing to kick too deep, but goes lob wide. Can Lob get back? He can. Right on 50. No one inside 50 for the Dogs. Treloar demanding the footy short. Lob went for the all or nothing with the vacant square. And misses.
Josh. Leave it to behind. Check the ball's mark over the line, please. Score review. Umpire's call is behind. Please confirm if the ball crossed the line.
Review complete. Looking at this angle, we can see the ball's crossed the back of the behind line before being marked. Decision on the scoreboard.
I think it was always an option there for Rory Lobb to take that long shot at goal. He could have waited for his mids to come down and fill in the holes and maybe find a short.
I think the option was Treloar. He was pleading for it. He just didn't really want to give it. Wasn't quite set, getting back quick enough. And then in the end, the opportunity was missed, ended up blazing away.
Wanganeen-Milera down the pipe. Good kick to Stocker. Hill is running past but doesn't get the hand pass.
Inside.
That's a good kick. Oh, no. Well, he had 3 to kick to, but Buku Khamis playing in front was able to intercept it. Not enough penetration on the kick.
They had a really good look there, didn't they? They ended up with 3 players to the 1 of the Western Bulldogs. Unfortunately, that kick just spun end over end and landed right in the lap of Buku Khamis.
Duray to the wing. Lob knocked away by Cordy. Rove by Windhager. Tackled. Lob got in front on.
So, Joel, you seeing any signs here that they've stopped the bleeding, St Kilda?
A little bit more of an arm wrestle, but it's a strange way to go about it, back through the middle of the ground, as we've seen a lot through this second quarter. But let you play this one out, BT.
Lob to McRae. McRae wants someone to come directly at him. Harms does. And that's where he kicks it. He wanted him to come a little harder. Harms kept it alive, top of the square, dangerous ball. Plenty of Saints around here. And the smash through there from Bonner.
Usually when the ball does go back through the middle, BT, it's one of those things that's probably going to be alive a lot more than what it is than around the boundary. And one area in the first quarter that they were quite good at was the stoppages. At least they were even in that number.
Owens kicks to Jones. Jones feeds Burns. A little fluency here. Kicks too high for Higgins. Did he get pushed out by Gallagher? Richards marks, that stands. And now McRae. English breaking to the back flank, has a few metres. Marshall pursues him. The 2 big ruckmen lumbering along the wing. Kick over the head of Harms. Wilkie coming the other way. Umpire says, toss it back in.
Sam Darcy.
And that's what we're talking about. That's allowing Aaron Naughton to get up the ground. We've seen how good he's been at providing those contests, but a lot of that's been coming from centre-half forward, working back towards the goal square, as Darcy's providing a really nice option long and deep.
Marshall to Windhager. Harms got taken high here. Bit of a clumsy tackle from Bonner. So Harms back from the VFL last week. High ball here. Naughton was there. Bonampelli was there. Wilkie grabbed it off the top, though. Have a look at the wall that's set up. And Bailey Dale is a good user. Duray wanted it. Didn't even get a look or a glance from Bailey Dale. Takes the man on the mark on. Gets within range from 50 metres out. Bailey Dale! No problems at all. Long ball. Knew that he had to sneak a couple of metres. Did it well, caught the man on mark off guard. First of the second quarter gives them a 46-point lead.
And it was all off the back of another sloppy kick out of the defensive line from St Kilda. They've just lost their layers at the moment, but what you want to do is get your hands in the best ball users. And Bailey Dale is one of those. He's got it in that launch zone a lot tonight, Daisy.
That's so sloppy from the defending of St Kilda there. On the mark especially, you need to realise a player of his calibre, if he's not going to pull the trigger on a low dart, he's going to try and roll. Caught napping and paid the ultimate price.
English the tap. Sinclair punches it forward. Owens and Johannesen tangle up. Sinclair kept on running. Low kick inside the 50. With holding going on. O'Donnell tackled by Garcia. That's Hugo Garcia.
Wow, I thought he dragged that in out.
Rocks, Tim.
Saints fans feel like they're on the wrong side of it at the moment. They certainly are on the scoreboard. Hugo Garcia to steal. Tackled by Gallagher. Got it free. Hill wants to use his pace, but McRae said no. Calls for a ball in.
Just unrelenting pressure at the moment from the Western Bulldogs. +4 in tackles, just hunting the man. Clearance is starting to get on top as well.
Another stoppage here. Half back for the Dogs. Still trying to get on the move. That Windhager there, just managed to keep it alive. Khamis should mark. Jones hit the deck and still managed to get hold of the foot. He didn't get rid of it far enough away. Garcia paddled it up like a basketball almost. Little handball now under real pressure here, the Dogs. Somehow they get away with it. Gallagher poked it forward. Wilkie now on the end. Handball to Hill, right on the logo. Coming back for another go, so a little bit of retention of football in their forward half here, the Saints. Long ball came from the boot of Stocker. Jones wins the free. Caminiti going, what did I do?
Johannesson, not a good kick. Dale couldn't take it on the half volley. A chance for the Saints. Sinclair and also Garcia fought for the same ball. It works out okay. Jones away to Bonner on his non-preferred. He can't get it to bend enough.
I reckon it was just through frustration from Caminiti there, because he had Jones sitting back in his hole, be asking where his other forwards are.
Bailey Dale, their designated kicker from full-back.
12 disposals, 10 kicks, going at 100% BT. It's good numbers.
That's why. Straight up the middle, exploring the Naughton lead. Well defended by Wilkie, banged it back into the Windhager direction. Surround the footy, but St Kilda, great composure. Hill now to top it off for them.
Outside 5.
70 metres from home. Hill off the side of the boot a little. Jones given a real opportunity to spoil. In they go, Wilson. Got the handball off, taken away by O'Donnell. He almost gets an escort down the ground. Goes wide to Bailey Williams, and he unloads to West.
West content to hold onto it for a while. Brings it back through the pocket. McRae, Jones at full-back, and now Bailey Dale at half-back. Switch complete. They've worked it well. Gallagher is all on his own on the wing. Naughton at half-forward should be next. Kick hangs in the air, over the top it goes. Waitman kicked 3 in the first quarter. He goes to Bontempelli. Bontempelli didn't take the mark. Battles pressure enough. And the Bont will be disappointed with that.
Great effort from Josh Battle. Didn't give up on the play. Looked like Marcus Bontempelli was going to take it cold. Just applied enough pressure for the champ to take his eyes off it.
Left arm down to protect the rib tickler that was coming his way, I reckon. Chirac flat on his back. That'll knock the oxygen out of his lungs. Owens, clever. Hill. Back inside. Membry. Ran into trouble, did Garcia. Membry again. Nice ball to Burns.
Stand!
Got the overlapper on the outside, ignored it, went inside, low punt. Got in front of O'Donnell out the back. Jones kicks their second. Better build up. Back to 39. Saints just need to make sure that they kick maybe 2 more goals for the quarter, but restrict the Dogs to zilch. Can't get back in it all at once, just slow little steps.
Well, this was the passage of play. Have a look at that kick from Bradley Hill. 2 defenders back, just drew Membry out to the football. It wasn't pretty from here on out. More fortuitous than good planning, but it ended up in a goal. And as you say, BT, they don't have to do it. Time is on their side, so if they can continue to chip into this lead, we know if it does come later in the game, they do have the mode. We saw it against the Tigers in Gather Round last week. Against the Giants, they can score quickly in patches.
Darcy gets the clearance. Bonner knocked it away from West. Burns. Wanganeen-Milera. Hopeful hand pass worked out to Ross to Windhager. They're running in a wave now, the Saints. Bonner to Sinclair. Who's next? Sinclair to an open forward line. The lead of Caminiti. Couldn't take the mark. Giray cleans up to Jones. Goes in the harm's direction from behind. He couldn't outpoint Sharman. A few little moments here building up for St Kilda.
It is those 50-50s, Al, that they just have to keep winning.
It feels like it's starting to come together a little for them. Sharman a kick to nowhere, really. But it does feel like now they're starting to join the dots.
And not the worst thing, BT, down their end of the ground. We talk about territory. Can they set up from this clearance and get something from it?
Let's see whether they can maintain it in their forward end. Little knockdown there, Karmas. Bowled over pretty quickly there by Garcia.
What the Dogs have been doing, they've been scrambling unbelievably well in that back half.
Darcy. Windhager, ball smothered. High footy. Saints 2-on-1. Out the back. Sharman shot off the handball. Wilkie, intelligent. Along the ground. Wanganeen-Milera, composed. Now Ross running onto his favoured left. This is looking more hopeful of the Saints. The build-up is better. Filippo going back for a shot at goal, is he? Doesn't seem interested in much else. Wants to launch it big from inside the centre square. Long ball. Caminiti won't get free off hands. Higgins round the corner. Deliberate centre ball. Fell over the defender. Garcia, the man marking at the top of the square. This will make it 2 in a row for the Saints, and they are on the way back.
And just building that pressure up. That's a 9th entry in a row for the Saints.
So Garcia here, yet to kick an AFL goal. This will also give them great encouragement. Give them a reason to celebrate. Give them a reason to get around each other. So Garcia kicks the goal. The Saints are on the march back. Really, exactly what the boys said before, but if they can, 7 minutes left, score another goal, keep the Dogs to nothing. It just sets up that third quarter, little bites.
Well, it was the long ball in. They'd be disappointed with that. The Western Bulldogs on the goal line had 3-1. Didn't clear the area, but really unselfish there from Jack Higgins. Not only unselfish, but to also execute that little dinky kick across the body, find the man at the top of the square, and there you go. You can see that belief start to grow. A little bit of excitement, some reward for effort from the Saints.
8 of the last 9 inside 50s, but Treloar wants to do something to get the Dogs moving again. Good hands, Sharman. Filippo breaking hard.
Stand. Play on.
Dangerous one. Bontempelli coming the other way, lopes away, pulls the kick badly. Saints fans optimistically calling for insufficient intent.
So he did have Rory lob over the top.
Got Sam and Rowan.
And Bontempelli apologised, realising that probably was the option. So the Dogs got it in their 50 now. Quickly out Wanganeen-Milera. Down the throat here of O'Donnell. So O'Donnell waiting for something to come at him. Sends it to the top of the square, draws the forwards to the ball. Bontempelli in the pack, and Hill will be happy for a ball up.
Need to really scramble here, the Saints. They've worked so hard to get themselves back into this one. Can't give up just an easy goal here.
Hill. Tumble punt clear. Duray conceded enough to spoil it. Duray, though, pulls it away from the pack. Williams feeds it back to Dale. Being constructive with his kicking tonight. Can he chain up this time? Lob presented, couldn't mark it. Ross chips it towards Jones. Jones tries to cut back infield, did expertly. His kick poor over the head of Steele, turned it over. Bontempelli shanked it back inside the 50. Sharman pushed off it. West a banana off a step. It's not coming back enough, and Wilkie back with the flight takes the mark.
A couple of Bontempelli misses that he wouldn't normally by foot. And that right foot banana, I think it was Riley West then. And all of a sudden, pressure starting to mount. Wanganeen-Milera forced to the boundary, well corralled by Duray. Really well done. Got it back to Hill, had a wonderful pick up Hill. Split him with the handball. Steele to Bonner. The hands of a good user. Bonner to the hot spot. Plenty of Dog defenders. Almost a memory opportunity. Higgins out the back door to Ross. On his favourite left boot. Has they got another one? No. 32 points.
This is where you'd love to see the leaders of the Saints screaming, pleading with them to defend for their lives here. Don't let the ball just rebound out.
Brambles run too far. And Higgins will get the shot at goal.
Wow. That was tragic. isn't it?
another 20 metres. Mark's here.
That's pure charity.
Throw back to him.
So he takes a bounce here.
Oh, I'm only counting 12 steps.
Yeah, I'm not certain that was
Jack,
too
that's the
many.
line.
No. But the Saints will take it if they can kick the goal, absolutely.
Higgins has been in sparkling touch for the Saints. 45 out across the face. They are pressing though, St Kilda.
Guys, just an interesting one. You mentioned Marcus Bontempelli's kicking is a bit off. He's kicking at 17% tonight.
Thanks, Aaron. Not great for him.
Wow.
He didn't take advantage of Bramble's shambles then either, Al.
Stay, Jack.
You did.
There's Williams. Half back. So this is better from the Dogs. Just a little bit of composure, just to say, steady it down here a little. Let's regroup and go again. Cordy in front, missed ball. Burns, Naughton with the bear-hugging tackle. So what a quarter. We saw the Dogs kick 7 goals to St Kilda's 1 in the first quarter. The Saints have stopped the bleeding and then gone on to kick 2 goals to the Dogs, 1 in this quarter with a couple of missed opportunities as well. And playing much better football. Richards over the line. Really starting to grind them now.
So the Western Bulldogs fan at home is sitting there going, we looked $1 million. Premiership favourites the way we played in the first quarter. How does it change so significantly in the second?
Ross has done a really good job of putting numbers around the footy, but just stopping that rebound from D50 into the forward 50 of the Western Bulldogs.
Wow. A throw, a torpedo throw.
Old rugby league pass. Williams up the wing with a high ball. McRae, Richards, Naughton. They've got out here, the Dogs. Johannesson, good kick. Vandermeer, wheels, sends it in the Darcy direction. Back with the flight, almost a mark to West. Battle escorts it over.
And Al, it's probably been that last touch of the Bulldogs, going, whether it be going inside 50 or around it, that they've just lacked the polish.
There's the throw. Wow. Umpire, of course, he had his back to the umpire, hard for the umpire to see. Right in front of us, though, Al. Unfortunate spot to do it.
The players are good at it. They know when they can see and when they can't.
They are very good at disguising the little touch on footy. Here's Garcia for the Dogs. 2 Garcias tonight, 1 for each side. Pass to Treloar. Does it get over the top? It does. So they get an unexpected one. Treloar just tidies things up a little bit for the Dogs. Back out to 37 points and nearing the half-time break.
Come in here, guys.
You talk about what's changed in the game, Al. In that first quarter, up until about the 10-minute mark of this quarter, the Western Bulldogs had scored 25 points from defensive end going and transitioning the ball. The AFL average for an entire match is 22 points. So they were shooting the lights out in that department. That's an area that Ross has obviously recognised, but applying some pressure on the ball, not letting it come straight out ping-pong style, as Joel said, from the forward line.
Treloar gets the clearance. Helicopter. Lob and Cordy. Richards tapped to his own advantage, controlled it neatly. Cuts onto his left. Kicks out towards Naughton. Comes at it on the bounce. It bowls past him. Norton with the 3 goals in the first quarter. Cody Waitman kicked 3 in the first term as well. Naughton taking his career tally to 200 tonight. Marshall and English. English edges out Marshall. McRae, Waitman, Richards, 55 out. Naughton! Not totally sure that was intended, but it works perfectly for the Dogs. Naughton a chance to kick his 4th.
And for all of their efforts, St Kilda, it's a 37-point margin, the same as it was at quarter time, and it could be more.
Yeah, that's deflating, BT, because they've had the run of the play, haven't been able to capitalise. Aaron Naughton kicked 5 against the Saints in 2021. This for 4. The kicking boots are on for Aaron Naughton tonight. Spot on, BT. The Bulldogs now push that margin out to the most significant it's been in the game, and that is after A 20-minute period where the Saints were starting to work their way back. They have no reward to show for it.
And it comes from off the back of a stoppage again. They've been winning the turnover game here in the stoppages. Clean hands. Ed Richards gets a bit lucky here, but Cam Wilkie, geez, he just can't believe it. When Aaron Naughton's having a night that he is off the boot, he doesn't need that to fall the way that it does, and makes the most of it.
Nice action there from Aaron Naughton. Treloar been wonderful. Hold over Windhager. Ali Dale with the spoil in the middle, picked up in the end by Wilson. Filippo gave it away to Windhager. Upend as he went to kick. Little handball sneaks out here to Wilson. Around the corner, goal. So they respond immediately. It'd be nice if they could get another one for their sake and win the quarter. Give them something for all of their good efforts in this quarter only. Prior to that, they were absolutely atrocious.
Well, there's a smart little tap over the top, but they've just got to be willing and happy to continue to do it. Not pretty at the moment, just to scrap, take whatever they can until they get the game on their terms. It'll happen at some point. They'll have themselves a 10 or 15-minute moment where they'll look like they get good looks and good opportunities, but until there, you just have to get yourself in the arm wrestle, give yourself a chance to fight and punch on.
Richards really clean. Bontempelli comes away. West should mark. Well, that was just... If you were looking for the definition of a beautiful set of clearance and kick to a leading player or a free forward, then that was it.
That's my favourite play in football, watching Bontempelli do exactly that. Isn't that just beautiful?
It's poetry in motion, BT. This is great work from Richards initially.
What a delight that would be to lead to. That was put on a dime, and now a chance to put a dagger through the Saints.
Coming into tonight, 42% of Bontempelli's kicks inside 50 were marked. This no difference, and that goes through for Riley West, and the margin is back out to 43 points again to the Dogs. He's becoming an important cog.
You spoke about this play, Al. It's even when you were playing against him, you still loved what the best players can possibly do, and that was Bontempelli wheeling out on his left and delivering it to the forwards. But we spoke about to Luke Beveridge before the game about Riley West and taking his opportunity, Daisy. Like, he's looked like a different player early on this year, and we talk about footy IQs, he's got one of the best.
Absolutely, making the most of his opportunities, as is Ed Richards there tonight. He's given the opportunity through the midfield. Important in that play there. He's had the 10 touches so far, a couple of clearances to go with, a couple of score involvements and some tackles. So he's playing a game when he's given his opportunity to get through that midfield that he hasn't had the opportunity up until Libba going out.
St Kilda conceding an average of 73 points in games so far this year, have already conceded 70. We're not at half-time yet here tonight. Treloar once again threw it out the back door.
Advantage.
But the advantage is paid.
Mate.
High tackle, I think it might have been. English now gets in and will give them a chance to go 49 points up. And Ross has just about had enough.
Stand there.
There's only so many magnets you can move, so many holes you can try and plug up. And I think the message will now come at half-time. It is the pressure and effort. The one thing they pride themselves on as a football club. When that hasn't been at its highest level tonight, they've been pulled apart.
For a 5-goal-to-3 second quarter here for the Dogs, despite the 15-minute period in which the Saints held them off. English after the half-time siren, no problems at all. It is raining goals for the Western Bulldogs here tonight.
This is halftime brought to you by Bunnings Warehouse, and the Western Bulldogs are well in control at Marvel Stadium Ross Lyon with plenty to work through at half-time. The Saints had some moments in that second term, but it really all has been set up by a blistering opening term for the Bulldogs. And, Jace, every time the Saints look like getting a little closer, the Dogs have held them at bay.
Yeah, the Saints had a really good part of that second.
Rowan Marshall, and that was the talk pre-game. The two's probably the number 2 ruckman in the competition, vying for that spot behind Max Gawn, obviously. And at the moment, Jace, you've been very impressed with Tim English. He's certainly got the honours.
Yeah, look, he's not winning the hit-outs, but they're winning the clearances when the two of them are going at it. And the fact that he pushed forward and kicked a goal, that's what we've been impressing upon him. If you want to have an impact, you've got to be able to add that weapon. And he's done that tonight. Can he do it for a full game against Rowan Marshall? You know Marshall's going to come back hard.
It's a big game at half-time. I mean, you talk about scoring sources, the way you get your scores. They've kicked 3 goals from centre-bounce in half, the Dogs. They're one of the poorer centre-bounce teams in the competition. They're 15th in the competition when you look at differential, so to be plus 2 goals, it's a huge head start. It puts less stress on the rest of your program. So, huge night for Tim English so far.
All I would say is, I know it's 49 points, a 50-point game at half-time. Don't ever write off size. We've seen big margins eroded so often
50.
this year already. I get that.
50.
Try and win the third quarter by 20 points. Get yourself within 5 goals. You never know what can happen. We've seen some big margins turned around.
Modern game can turn around very quickly, Kingy, as we head back to Marvel Stadium. The Saints wanting to get an early goal to begin to peg back the margin. Let's head there now.
Nice high bounce. English with eyes for Marshall. Tap down to Windhager. Windhager's kick smothered by Richard. West goes through. Ball stolen by Sinclair. Tumble punt inside the 50. Sharman comes to meet it. Knocked it to Johannesen. Gave to Bontempelli. His hand pass didn't hit Dale. It was taken by Garcia. Off to Ross. High up and under. Higgins rises. Was he dragged down? Bontempelli. Treloar. Dale. Clears to English, who had the height advantage and was able to control it with one hand.
It's such a good kick, just relieves all the pressure. You get to go back now, assess the field, make an informed decision rather than keeping that ball live.
Yep. Johannesen.
Stand.
Short little ball in sideways to Duray.
Yes.
They love the run of this man here. Look at that for a kick. Just a little too high for Naughton. Waitman, clever little tap to Bontempelli. He got it back in the Waitman direction. Richards on the left boot. Just messed the kick up a little bit going inside forward 50. Lob, got it off, and how easy. How easy. So Ross Lyon would be absolutely wondering after the goal of Gallagher, when does all this stop?
Go square, Bulldogs.
And it was a good build-up from behind the ball because they use those numbers up and then make sure that they can get the next players in along the layers that they could use up. And it was just contest-to-contest stuff, and that's what got it done at the end of the day, Dave.
It was. You'd be absolutely filthy if you're in the St Kilda's coaching box, just from the effort that was in that play or the lack thereof. The ball just scrapping around. Horrible.
Marshall cleared it. Dale intercepted.
And that is one thing this football club prides themselves on, is that ability just to fight and scrap. It might not be the prettiest, but it hasn't been there all night so far.
McRae to the running. Dale finds West. This looks all too easy at the moment for the Western Bulldogs. No dirty ball, as Ross Lyon described it. And here we go again, onto the chest of Naughton.
Stand there.
See, that was a beautiful kick from Riley West.
The space they've got to operate in, though, that's a slow play. That should be numbers back, some defensive effort. It's a little quasi-block from Rory Lobb that the St Kilda defender doesn't work through, which allows the separation.
He's had some real fluency in his kicking tonight, Aaron Naughton. This from just inside the 50. He can't miss. And he roars in delight as the Bulldogs go more than 10 goals clear. Well, this is demoralising for St Kilda and Ross Lyon. He's had the team in at the half-time break. He's asked for more. And the response simply has not been there so far in the third quarter. Bulldogs waltz that ball from one end of the ground to the other. Naughton now has 5 majors to his name.
It's a great picture that we're seeing of Aaron Naughton tonight. We saw him talking about Charlie Curnow and Jeremy Cameron and what they can do in the game, but he's just as good. You know, when he can get his game up and going, he can get across the ground like he does. He found the space there, and we've spoken about his kicking all night. Geez, he's been fluent the way that he's gone in to kick those goals.
5 goals for the 6th time in his career. Interestingly enough, 6 goals his career high, so needs 1 more to equal that. I thought it would have been more than that. One out, O'Donnell here, battling hard, tries to extract the footy.
Thanks, Ross.
So they've kicked the last 4 goals of the game, the Dogs, after the Saints wound themselves into a mini frenzy for 10 minutes.
You, mate, you.
Trelaw high ball. Here is Naughton. Look, he did well to shove him under the footy. Sinclair got rid of the tackler. Carness is going to attack it. Does with a metre break. O'Donnell there to follow up and help out.
Downfield, play on yours, downfield.
Downfield harms. Ball keeps going. Plays have stopped. Riley West had completely stopped.
He didn't elect to take it. Okay.
And so the umpire down the field saying you didn't elect to take the advantage, and I thought that was a correct call. Umpire Brendan Hosking just setting that straight, and I think a good decision made.
Harms playing his 2nd game as a Dog. And the other appearance this season was against his former team, Melbourne. Lob took it strongly in the pack. Now English is a tall target inside 50. Naughton leads to half forward. Kick goes longer than that. It is in the English direction. Couldn't work his way to the front. Marshall didn't hold the mark. West shoots it out to Richards. He gave it in tight to McRae. How he took it and got it out, I do not know. Superb. Waitman is caught. A win for the Saints, and Hill will break away, although he's corralled. He wants to take on Naughton. Leads Windhager. And Windhager to Wilson on the back flank.
Wilson, what does he do with it here? He can go over the top if he wants. Phillippo had given a good lead, but he goes back inside and no one there. Liam Jones, and in the end, wrong decision made. Can they keep it alive? Garcia was there. Has a second go at it, Garcia.
10.
Handball knocked away.
7.
Bailey Dale. Trelaw. And now Rory Lobb again. Collision of teammates.
1 metre back, Riley. 1 metre back. Stand.
Lobb the winner.
Great courage. Both players' eyes on the ball. Rory Lobb, this is doing his confidence the world of good. Been in and out of the side. Last couple of moments, presenting nicely.
Gallagher very, very slow to get back to his feet. Now in the hands of Bramble. There he is, the young man.
Johannesson. Back to Bramble. Into the corridor. Just carving St Kilda up at the moment. McRae. Vandermeer. Some concerns in the back play for Gallagher, who's coming off. Bontempelli to West, who dropped it.
That's another sitter that Bontempelli dropped there.
Looked like a decent enough corky to go along with the collision as well. Those pointy knees of Rory Lobb. Yeah, that's going to hurt.
Marshall palmed it down nicely. Windhager threw it on the boot quickly. Karmas full-chested.
Stand. Me. Stand.
Vandermeer. Low ball. Lead of Naughton coming. English in front, though. Ross to tidy up to Sinclair. Scrub a little kick along the ground. James O'Donnell pounces, goes deep into the pocket to Waitman. Rory Lobb saying, why wasn't it long? And Dr. Gary Zimmerman there. Just taking a look at Gallagher.
Riley Sanders is the sub if required for the Western Bulldogs. He's with the only 2 goals of this term, one of them kicked by Gallagher. Wanganeen-Milera took the contact, dragged down.
Go through.
And another stoppage.
I know it's early, but it might be time that the Saints look at their sub. Dan Butler gives them a little bit different across the ground.
Marshall, second time. Wanganeen-Milera caught, holding the ball. McRae got him.
Okay.
Do you just have an out-of-character night sometimes, Joel, in a long season? Is that what Ross Lyon's seeing from his team tonight? This does not look like the St Kilda we know.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen the best of them. We only have to look back probably a month, and then we saw him play against Collingwood, and they outworked them, outran them all that night. It looks a far different side here tonight, but that form is just around the corner too. It can just go hit and miss when you're a young side coming through, and that's the hardest things for these Saints fans to take in.
5 consecutive Bulldog goals. They are blowing the Saints away. They can look irresistible, the Western Bulldogs, at times. McRae started the season out of the side. He comes in and is having an impact, hitting the scoreboard and helping to blow this lead out.
Yeah, I reckon.
67 points.
Initial downfield, then she was advantage, but
No doubt a bit of sense of pride here from Jack McRae, in and out of the side. Started the year in the VFL. He's had the most tackles of a Bulldogs player on the ground, working himself into this game nicely. Very rarely do you find yourself with 13 to play in the third quarter when it's almost starting to feel and look like party time.
So Riley Sanders in the bottom picture there, getting the call from the coach, and I don't think, Aaron, it'll be long before we see him as the ball goes forward. What do you think?
Yeah, he hasn't taken the warm-up top off yet, but looks like he might really soon, BT.
Kick out wide to Sinclair. Sinclair, ball back in there, and a nice mark taken from Owens. Immediately plays on to Burns. Inside 50, this looks better. Higgins outreached Bramble. Did well to hang on then. Thought it was a little heavy for Higgins.
He's taken a couple of those on the night at full stretch. Just lost his direct opponent there. And that is the definition of taking it at its highest point.
Absolutely. Just about got out the back door, didn't it? So Higgins from 30 metres directly in front here. And he misses right pretty badly. Curses himself.
Margin 66. This feels a far cry from things you'd associate with 66 for St Kilda.
Wow.
Dale, aided by Shepherd, goes to the middle. Running underneath it was Caminiti. Darcy picks up immediately, tackled, ball knocked out, Steele. Needing to be quick was Cordy, turned it over, Naughton. To open space on the half-forward flank, all about the bounce here for Wilkie. Got assistance from Bonner. Bonner finds the outlet kick to Ross.
Stand! Stand!
Aaron Phillips is on the boundary.
Well, Joel, you called it. Dan Butler has taken off the warm-up top, so he'll be subbed in, and I'll let you know who he comes on for.
Stand! Stand, Bailey, play on!
Bonner. Hill.
Play on. No 15, play on!
Not the 15. Good call, Wanganeen-Milera. Good tackle by Duray. And there is Dan Butler.
It's been a highlight, their tackling all night, and they have found this kick all night too. They'll take this into the middle, across the ground.
Are they looking to go all the way with this, Joel, or just back in the middle and then transfer from there down the diddle?
Find the numbers. Here we go. Out here. These tall forwards has been interesting. The next kick in line is Rory Lobb, Sam Darcy. They've probably been a little bit too far away from the kicker this quarter, so when they're running and jumping at it, it's only going to fall forward of the ball. Can they try and bring their defenders up so I can get out the back?
West faked to go down the line to those big men. Transfer to Karmas. Karmas to Bramble. Bramble could have gone harms wide, still does. There's a bit of a bailout option. And not much on inside for
Harms, so he just goes back from whence it came to O'Donnell.
Outside 5.
He's got Jones at centre-half back all on his own. And now Williams presenting on the wing. West over the top. Williams easily gets around Bonner. Casually brings it forward for the Dogs. Kicks towards Naughton again. Couldn't take it this time. Aaron, what can you tell us from ground level?
Yeah, well, as you see, Dan Butler has come on for Zach Jones, so hopefully injecting some speed and give something for St Kilda to look forward to this game.
Off the shins of Darcy, Sinclair's kick smothered by Treloar. There's been a hunger about it from the Bulldogs all night.
Sense of frustration there on the face of Zach Jones.
Lost line there.
Also a sense of frustration. Probably need to flip the narrative a little bit here for not how off the Saints are, but how on the Western Bulldogs have come into this game.
Lost line. Biggest loss as a coach at St Kilda, 61 points. Currently staring a 66-point deficit in the face. And looking like it's going to be built upon. Karmas. Sideways ball to Bramble. Now Harms. Coming at him, Vandermeer. Really hard, aggressive lead. Vandermeer was willing to turn and go to Darcy. Goes the longer ball. Naughton over the top, 3 deep. And he'll line up for a career-equaling 6th goal. From a distance of 15 metres.
Sorry, BT. His work contest to contest, providing short leads, not getting used, realising, getting involved, putting blocks on for other forwards, and then coming and still having that presence, the ability to clunk it and get a good look at it. No surprises why he's coming in for a career high.
Like the preparation, hasn't taken his eyes off the goals. He's walking backwards to his mark. Nails it, equals his career high 6 goals and a 72-point lead. 6 goals to Aaron Naughton. 4 goals to the Dogs in this 3rd quarter. And this is now becoming a little ugly. The resilience is low from the opposition at the moment.
On a night where we were going to worry about how the Bulldogs were going to kick the goals, they've found a way, and it's finding this kick in between sort of 70 and 50 that we've talked about. Find it to the launch pad and then get it into their key forwards. And Aaron Naughton, if there's ever a night that you need to go back and watch your edits, it's a night like tonight, Daisy, where he's just had a day out.
Free kick spotted in the middle of the ground. Where is the
Marshall,
free kick?
free kick, St Kilda time back on. Stand.
Okay.
Play on.
Otherwise, we're looking all over the place. Marshall taking the free, sending it inside 50. Hands to it, Sharman, no mark. Higgins gets it out towards Filippo. Butler's first touch, a hand pass. It was dropped by Windhager. Richards the tackle. And a high tackle, free kick St Kilda. Things are getting a little feisty. Hugo Garcia in just his 2nd game. More than comfortable in the physical exchanges.
He's already on the ground, man. Just step forward a bit from right where you are. Marcus, that's your line.
More questions than answers there for Ed Richards.
Over the shoulder.
That's the only answer he needed. Over the shoulder. Now Windhager. Can he capitalise? Have to kick it from about 50 metres. Kick is low, straight and through. Now they will look at this.
I believe it's a behind, but I confirm it was touched before crossing the line.
Yes, the finger of Jones, the ever reliable Liam Jones. You can see it bends
Review
back
complete.
before
Looking
the
at this
crosses.
angle, we can see the ball's touched before crossing the back of the goal line. Decision on the scoreboard.
So still no joy for the Saints. It was interesting, actually, Daisy. I know you love your golf. Lucas Herbert, the live golfer, star Australian golfer, one of the best putters in the game. He was at the kennel this week. He's a big Western Bulldogs fan. And he talked to the players about goal kicking and the approach, the mental side of it, but also the routine side of it. The Dogs have kicked 11 straight tonight from set shots. So Lucas might be taking a bit of the credit, BT.
Might
Holding,
take some of it.
arm around. Straight back to him. Stand, Callum.
Stand. Play on. You.
Into the pocket. Here's Darcy.
Back here.
So whichever
Back here,
forward wants it
One more.
is generally getting it.
We spoke about it at the
Sam,
start of the night,
come
BT.
around.
We expected their bigs to have a big night. They needed to stand up, take the marks, go back and kick the goals, and it's exactly what's happened.
Here's the future for the Western Bulldogs. Here's an absolute beauty. Sam Darcy. Right on 50. Good-looking ball. Won't quite get the journey, though. And again was sky high. Anything possible in the form that he's in at the moment.
Bonner in short. Wanganeen-Milera. High kick. Sets a task for Battle, but he's able to work his way to the front and mark comfortably.
Just a little bit of miscommunication there from the Dogs defenders. 3 of them looking. No one choosing to elect to fly.
Membry had little involvement, tangles up with Jones and gives away the free kick.
Liam Jones is playing some sort of game. We saw the desperation in the effort just before.
Stand, play on.
English, Johannesson, McRae.
Fine. Touch, play on.
Kick smothered.
Play on, touch.
Wanganeen-Milera takes it, feeds Windhager. Seen it a bit tonight. They look unsure of the half-back line.
Hill. We know he's very capable of that kick. Ross kept the arms free for the handball to Owen. And here is Membry on the lead. So that was a bit of a cinch for the Saints.
It was a smart kick in the end.
Yeah, it might have to be the style that they go to. Just went back into the middle, then Brad Hill moves it on, then they move it on to Owens.
Tim, that's your line.
And a nice finish there into the forward line.
Just a little point from Membry. That was the connection. That was all that was required. Just pop it there into the space. I'll tick back up and catch it.
Showed themselves how simple it can be.
Move it in.
So a paltry 29 points on the board for the Saints. Membry very close to the man on the mark and may have just pushed him left.
I've done that a bit tonight. A short kick told to play on. No issue for Bontempelli and Johannesson. Ball is quickly up defensive side of the wing. Bramble. Lob. Doesn't seem a fair match-up for Stocker.
Continuing to grow in confidence, though, is Rory Lobb. We know that's the type of player he is.
Wilkie gets across. Knew he was going to take some contact, but belts it away from West.
So does Lobb hold his position in the side if Jamara makes himself available next week or not?
Well, he's doing enough to at least put a decent case forward. And I think from the way that Luke Beveridge has been at the selection table this year, if you're bringing what the team needs, he's happy to go with you regardless of, I guess, your stature in the game or the expectation or the ability that you can bring.
So hang on, Days, what are you saying, that Lobb will stay in the team if Jamara comes back?
I think it'll be a decent discussion. He's provided a really good contest ahead of the ball. We've seen with Jack McRae going in and out of the side. He doesn't really worry about...
They're going to have 10 guys over 200.
Well, does Jamara come back in? I'm not saying they all play BT.
Surely he comes back in, but...
I get the sense you're stirring the pot, BT. English out to McRae. Garcia spins on his left. Bontempelli in front. Speaking of left foot.
Stand down.
Bontempelli.
Latham, can you please go out? 10.
Yes.
Latham.
Tonight been slightly off with his kicking, but you'd expect him to seize this opportunity.
Spoken a lot about his ability to put himself into the game, to insert himself after a low performance from him last week. He's been brilliant again.
Stay behind there. Stay behind.
They are dead-eye tonight. They just keep pouring them in like Lucas Herbert with his putter.
You good, Jeff?
77 points, the Western Bulldogs lead. This is a real thumping. They did this to St Kilda a couple of years ago, back in 2021. Aaron Naughton kicked 5, and the Bulldogs, from memory, won by about 111 points here at Marvel. it's kind of got that look and feel about it again tonight if the Saints can't find some sort of resolve.
$144-33 on that occasion that you speak of there, Al, and that does sort of have this similar feel to it. Rory Lobb, Joel, he probably needs to start hitting the scoreboard if he is to take the spot or at least hold out Jamara. But, you know, the role that he's playing and to have an option of a bloke who can go forward, back and to the wing, it mounts a decent case.
It does. And to be honest, the one thing that you maybe think of, Sam Darcy being young, I'll pass over to you, BT.
Here's Rory Lobb again. I'm going to ask that question of Daisy again in a minute. I don't feel I've got a good answer out of it. As the Saints spoil the ball, spills to McRae, now onto Richards. Richards is caught in the tackle. He might get a stoppage, and I can ask that all-important question. Garcia through traffic back to Lobb, who's had his second possession in the last 15 seconds. And now they wind up and go long once again. Who will get on the end of this? Darcy's got the tallest hands there. Treloar in front couldn't get their ball up. Ask you one more time, Dace. So Lobb playing so well. Jamari Hagan makes himself available next week. Are they all holding their position?
No. Jamara will come in, BT, and Rory Lobb will make way.
Right.
I don't reckon Ron Iddles was as good at interrogating as you, BT, in his heyday as a Victorian policeman.
It took an investigation to get an answer.
The persistence was insufferable in the end. Suffocating.
He broke you. He broke you.
I turned the toes up really quick, didn't I?
Wanganeen-Milera, that's a really good kick down the middle. Windhager to Hill. Hill's got the second game up. Garcia confronted by Dale, works around him from 50, kicks to Membry. Karma's got a hand to it. Membry in the pocket, feeds it back in field. Flicked on cleverly by Caminiti, and Owens finishes it off. Margin back to 71 points. Owens and Caminiti had 72 points, I should say. Owens and Caminiti combining.
Just a quick update. Vandermeer has come from the ground and is getting checked by the medicos in that last clash. I'll keep you updated.
Well, that was as a director's play as what we've seen a side has done this year, but it was all built off the back of a bit of confidence from the first kick out of full back, and that's what maybe they've got to take on, and it's the small wins that they'll get out of this right now. So it might be flicking the magnets around. I think about the young players of this side that you might want to see in different positions. Garcia, Philippou, Sinclair maybe coming from a forward line, coming up, playing an extra number.
Ross, English, clever. Only Williams barely had hold of the footy and gave it out the back door to Dale, and now Johannesson.
Stand.
Kicking tonight been impressive. Has to concede backwards. Karmas found a player in him. 2 minutes to go to three-quarter time. See Ross lying down in front of us, walking the boundary. Not looking that delighted about where the situation of this game is at the moment. Sinclair to Ross. Ross has a good look. Goes high to the one-on-one here. And it was well done by Caminiti. A rare win.
Anthony, come around, Dan.
For their deepest forward.
Anthony.
A couple of nice involvements in the last couple of plays from Caminiti.
On my arm.
Being told to straighten up.
That's it.
Go around the corner with the snap.
So around the corner, as Dave said, look, he does it with the 9th time he's kicked 2. And around the corner he goes, and he's pulled it a little too far. Needs a little more work on that.
Weird that he went with the drop punt hard up against the paint in the first term.
Yeah.
And now decides to go with the snap from directly in front.
It's a good point, because he's a little confused about which kick is right for which option.
Geray found Treloar on the outer side. Aaron, looks like the Dogs have made their sub.
Yeah, Sanders will come on for Vandermeer off the back of that collision. We'll keep you updated to see how he's going.
Thank you very much, Aaron. Steele, hand pass. Garcia of St Kilda tackled, and tumbling into mark is Treloar. Dale, Johannesson. High kick inside the 50. Back with the flight. Lob did really well to impact. It looked like the St Kilda defence was best placed there. Ross clears. Butler back in defence, caught by Bontempelli. Garcia nailed by Darcy. Got it out though to Bonner, and Bonner uses it neatly to Butler.
Type of spoil that might keep lobbing the team. Here's Ross through the middle of the ground to Stocker. The thumping thighs of Stocker, driving long ball. Williams got a hand there. Siren sounds to beat them all. It is a massive 71.3 quarter time lead for the Dogs as their young gun Sanders is deployed.
I just stopped thinking about it. I just stopped thinking about it.
You're watching Thursday Night Footy on Fox.
Welcome back to Thursday Night Footy on Fox. The Dogs are answering their critics in emphatic style. They hold a huge 71-point lead at three-quarter time. In a team sense, they've responded brilliantly. But, Joey, in an individual sense, there's been some players that have really stood up tonight, which Luke Beveridge would be so pleased about.
Yeah, absolutely. Sarah, there was no response from St Kilda in that third quarter. We were hoping they might have been able to respond, but it's been some of the Dogs that have been spoken about a lot in the media in the last couple of weeks, particularly this man. A lot of talk about Aaron Naughton and his form and where he sits amongst the team and the competition, all those sorts of things. Well, he's answered his critics in a big way tonight with an equal career high 6 goals. Jack McRae, a lot of talk about him. He's been playing sensational footy. We know he racks up the ball, but he's been able to get his hands dirty. Most tackles for the Dogs with the 6 and 10 score involvements. And, of course, Bailey Dale, who was made the sub last week, an All-Australian. Another one who has had a sensational night tonight. So it's funny the response you get, and this is part of the art of coaching. It's why Luke Beveridge, we've always said, is a terrific coach. And we know he does things a bit differently, but what he's been able to do with this group tonight has been sensational, but also the individuals. So we just talk about some of these players. Ranked second on the ground, Bailey Dale having a huge influence, 6 score involvements and 6 inside 50s to go with those numbers. He's been terrific. We know about Aaron Naughton. We just mentioned him, the 6 goals and the 3 contested marks. So he's been flying. He's the first highest rated player on the ground. He's number 1 and he'll be the best player on the ground. He's going to look to break that record for goals in the fourth quarter, and he could finish up with 7, 8, potentially 9. And then, of course, Jack McRae we touch on as well, the 5th highest rated player on the ground. He's been doing it both sides of the footy, with the ball and without the ball.
The 6 tackles, incredibly pleasing there for Jack McRae. 17 goals for the Western Bulldogs to three-quarter time. 12 straight from set shots. That is phenomenal accuracy. Western Bulldogs goal-kicking guru Brad Johnson will be pleased with that.
He'd be mighty chuffed with his work down there on the boundary, but he'd be loving what he's seen from his team. And you're right, I mean, the kicking has been exceptional right from the start, so that's no doubt had an influence. Marcus Bontempelli, he's been good as always, but hasn't needed to be as dominant as maybe we thought. He's had a lot of support through the midfield, and to be fair, they've won all facets of the game, the Bulldogs. They've out-pressured now works St Kilda. They've won the ball on the inside, they've won it on the outside, and they've used it much better. And there's going to be a bit of soul-searching going on at St Kilda this week.
What can the Saints get out of this last quarter?
Oh, look, they're just going to try and just play some good footy, maybe mix it up. I'd mix up some positions, throw some guys around, keep getting looks at some opportunities for players and see if they can just take something away from this game, but there'll be very few they can.
For the Western Bulldogs, they've been under the pump all week, a real media circus leading into this one, so they'll certainly enjoy this big lead and look to press home their advantage as we head to the final quarter action at Marvel Stadium. You're watching Thursday Night Footy on Fox.
How many could Naughton kick? He's got 6, a career high equal. McRae socket it, Sanders into the game. Treloar playing round ball as well. Wilson back first, Gallagher there with him. Wilkie receives it. Evades Darcy, turns it over back to the wing. Johannesson takes the mark. Back to Bramble. Eyes divert to the corridor, but kick comes to the wing. Johannesson again. Saints have got themselves well organised. Johannesson kicks towards Rory Lobb, and in front Darcy. Very strong hands Wilkie, no match for this emerging giant.
Get a good look at it here. There's a bit of forward craft.
If you like.
The little J step, just a little bit of an arc so he could come back and then launch and explode at it rather than going straight back.
Gee, for a guy that's played, what, 11, 12 games, there's just so many things to like about him, isn't there?
Without question. Had a horrid run last year with injury. Starts it at the left post and it doesn't come back.
Well, I think if you're a Dog fan, you know, get excited about him, Joel.
Yeah, and off the back of that, I was probably trying to say before, BT, off the back of last year's injuries, do they look after him throughout this year at different stages? Is that how Rory Lobb keeps his spot in the side does?
It might just be. And if you are Rory Lobb, you're probably relying at some stage on a bit of luck because his form to this point in the season hasn't been good enough to break into the senior side, BT. But
this is a first. Joel ganging up on me to help you.
Well, I was going to ask Joel what it was like at three-quarter time to get a spray from the coach, but he just looked at me and said, I don't think I've ever been down by 10 goals at three-quarter time, Dale.
Membry.
I know, I've had some bad days.
Here's Hill. Wide ball here. Butler trying to get up over the top of Duray. Dan Butler started as a sub tonight.
Tim and Rowan. Yeah, miss. Thanks, mate. That's it.
Most St Kilda fans may have left by now. We're on the way home. Dogs will be delighted. Puts them at, what is it, 3-3. As a result, if they go on and win this game, they obviously will. And the Saints 2-4. Some work ahead for them.
Advantage.
Windhager takes that advantage. And the outside run in Ross, who sprayed that wide. St Kilda next week, of course, Friday night football in Adelaide, taking on Port Adelaide.
Just got a little message in the air. In your time at Geelong, Joel, 81 games decided by 10 goals or more. Your record was 76 wins and 5 losses.
Yeah, I said there was a couple bad days in there.
It's pretty comprehensive.
English strongly tackled, spinning out Steele. Hand pass to Sinclair.
You got a sickening record, Joel.
Sinclair from 45 on the fly, hits the post. That almost sums up the night for St Kilda right there. It's a record that any other player from any era would envy.
Yep. Karmas. What do you like about Karmas, Joel? What is it that grabs you about him at the moment?
He's been a great find for him this year, but they didn't want to give him up last year. They obviously knew what he could put into this side and make him look a little bit different too. So he's had a great start to the year. Reads the ball really well.
Windhager going deep into the pocket. Karma's going to drop in the hole there, willing to do anything for his team. Didn't need to commit his body then.
And alongside Liam Jones down there, who's been so good, we've seen tonight his ability just to halve a contest with a hand in there or lock down. That's allowing Karmas just to come across and use that athleticism to run, jump.
He's been sensational since coming back, hasn't he, Jones?
Liam Jones, incredible, yeah.
Has not missed a beat.
The fact that he was on the scrap heap as a forward at the Blues, they found a way to get him to the back line in the VFL, and then where his career's gone from there, you have to tip your cap to blokes like that.
Hill kicked it straight into Bonampelli. Butler went to give it, decide not to, and he'll be pinged. As a result, Bulldogs at half-back, and it will be Duray.
Short to English. Who do you think's taken the points in the Marshall-English battle tonight?
Well, they both just had a piece of it just then.
Marshall the spoil.
It's, I think, Tim English, to be honest. I mean, when your side's up like it is, it's been the Bulldogs around the ball. So whether he's given him first use or just got involved in linking up, I think it's been really important.
7 goals, 3 from stoppages. A lot of contested possession wins, plus 20 in that facet. English has given his midfielders first use.
Stocker wobbles it into the middle. Karmas dives but can't mark. Johannesson hit it at pace. Bramble, and now the feedback. Jones harms. Dale breaks to the outer side. Lob at half forward. There's a metre or two on his opponent. Now leads up at the ball. Couldn't take it. Wanganeen-Milera caught by Lob. He's having moments. that might just strengthen BT's case to keep him in the team.
So Lobb, it's getting stronger and stronger. There's no doubt about that. High ball. Here's Darcy again. Free kick being paid off the ball. It'll go to the Dogs. And English is the winner here.
Thank you. Arm around. It's got to go off the blood, mate. Blood
Just
rule,
wondering,
St.Kilda.
blood rule here as well. This is a good opportunity. I'm just wondering whether Luke Beveridge, the coach of the Western Bulldogs, is this a time, guys, that he would consider resting his superstar in Bontempelli? It's a 9-day break until they go to Perth. What do you think, Days?
You'd certainly be having the thought go through your head, even if it is just a more of a rest up in the forward line. We know he's been a little bit banged up over the past couple of weeks as well, so there's the option. It's a good call, BT.
I often sit there wondering whether coaches, whether that even comes into their minds, Joel, or whether they just think so much about winning.
It's probably more the senior players too, to be honest. It's St Kilda guy. The senior players are probably thinking the same thing. Do I need to really be involved in this game as much as I need to? It's a time where the game's over. It's to work through what's best for the team going forward.
English looking for his second goal. Bit of angle to work with. And just to the left-hand side.
If you are Marcus Bontempelli to BT, you probably want him to stay out there.
Yep, no doubt about that.
A chance to enjoy a game where you're clearly on top, get involved in a little bit of this party time, because it doesn't come around too often, wins like this, where you can actually do what you want, almost treat the team you're playing with some sort of contempt with ball in hand.
Battle goes for a run, gives to Ross, back to Battle. Battle runs into trouble. Hand pass comes clear. Treloar goes and collects it. Somehow controlled it, but gave it up to Windhager to Hill. Hill's tried hard, but he can't finish here. And there's Rory Lobb making his way down to the rooms with... Looks like he's hobbling. We'll get the very latest when we can from Aaron.
Dr. Gary Zimmerman with him as he goes down the room, so... that was the ankle. Here's Darcy again. And the Dogs fans just loving what they're seeing out of him. Treloar. Just mouth-watering stuff from a youngster. Treloar, very high ball, looking for Harms out wide. Ross did well to halve the contest. Sanders, little handball backwards. McRae had to fish it out to Richards, and Richards now back into Harms. Harms, that ball to the top of the square, went very, very early on that occasion, did Wilson. And it'll be a free. Going the way of Bontempelli.
I'm sure he'll learn a quick lesson throughout the week, but it's probably not the time to do that down that end of the ground. It's against one of the best players in the comp.
So the free there.
Everyone 10 metres, please.
And Bontempelli will go back from 20 metres out to kick the goal. 71 points for a 77-point lead here. The Dogs superstar has that for the 77-point lead. No problems at all. Kicks it up into the fans. Got a couple. Wow. This is great for the Dogs.
This is why he wants to be out on the field and continue to stay out there when you're starting to get looks like that. And he's been fabulous all night, playing a lot through that midfield. Last couple of weeks he's been rested forward at times. But look at that, both ends of the ground, right up the defensive end with a couple of possessions on the goal line, and then sneaking forward there, kicking the 2 goals.
Only 9 percentage points separated these two teams coming in tonight. That margin is now 40, such is the significance of the Bulldogs win.
It's been comprehensive. Every time you break it down, you look at the score sources. 7-3 from stoppages, 10 goals, 6 from turnover. Getting there on the board as well from kick-ins now as well. It's for Ross Lyon, you can't patch up all those holes and the leaks that are coming through.
Donald dispossessed in the tackle. Steele knocked it out to Wilson. Wilson towards Sharman, engages with Karmas, clears both of them. Jones and Membry, cleverly tapped by Jones to Johannesson, to Bramble. Away come the Bulldogs again. Short pass to the pocket. Williams to Sanders. Sanders to half-back. Bramble, another link in the chain. Waitman over his head. Darcy is there with Cordy. Farmed up by Sinclair. Caminiti, not 15. Garcia arches the back, kicks long inside 50. Karmas ran under the ball and Membry takes the mark for St Kilda.
Let's go clear out, guys. Just here, Beacon.
Another occasion where he didn't quite read the flight. Karmas.
Tim, that's your line.
He and Liam Jones, a slight bit of miscommunication. Had to clear, run and jump. Liam Jones thought he was getting the job done too. Well done from Membry. Nice in the way, didn't take his eyes off it.
Membry has only had the 2 kicks tonight so far. 4 handballs for his first goal. No problem.
Okay, mate.
Goal apiece in this final quarter. Margin back to what it was at three-quarter time, the 71 points. Bulldogs set this game up on the back of a blistering start. A 7-goal-to-1 opening term.
Well, Rory Lobbs made his way back out on the field, so everything must be okay with that foot, which is good news for the Bulldogs. Bailey Williams, he's had a night out, BT.
He has, playing game 133 tonight, the same number that the late David Darcy played, Luke's dad, and of course Sam's grandfather out there tonight played for the Dogs. So well done to Bailey Williams, really forging a great career. High footy comes in for the Dogs again. Karmas couldn't hold the mark. Out the back door, Membry for a second in as many minutes, and he dribbles it through.
More respectable night for Membry with 2 quick goals. Very quiet up until this point.
Here's the mark, only moments ago. Eyes on the footy. We know what a try this bloke is. He never gives up. Had some injuries along the way. Obviously stepped away from a game last year with some mental health stuff, so it is good for him. Good to see him out there still getting it done late in the game here.
Only 2 Garcias have ever played AFL, VFL football.
Rory.
They're out there tonight. They're playing on each other in the middle, at least at that centre bounce. There they are. Riley and Hugo. And they tangle up here. The name carries no sentiment.
Thank you. Same again.
They want a piece of each other.
Good to see as well. A couple of young blokes having a go, getting their opportunity in the midfield too, where no doubt they want to spend a lot of their careers going forward.
Here's Lobb kicking in the Naughton direction. Up they go. Waitman ran past it. Hill. Hand pass missed the target. Sanders in hard and low. Stocker equally. Hill loses it. Bonner in trouble. Dragged down by Harms.
Just Jason Johannesson for me, Days. Like, sitting back there in that back line, he's averaging 22 disposals per game. More than he averaged in his Norm Smith winning year. He's going under the radar at the moment. What's he doing differently? We'll come back to you for an answer in a moment as Duray sends it forward. But to me, he's just looking incredibly comfortable again. After his career, I reckon it was almost over at one stage as West tries to take it on. Darcy kept it alive. Garcia out the back door. Little one here for Gallagher. Goes backwards, searching for Bailey Dale. Duray wanted to get onto his left. Might be run down by Butler from behind. He is. Just had the awareness to get rid of it. Garcia also tackled the ground. Sanders, lovely quick handball. Richards wasn't ready for it, got clobbered. Bit of pressure coming here from the Saints.
It's in the back.
And a 3 will go to the Saints. What do you think, Jason Johannesson? He just looks like he's enjoying it again.
Yeah, as simple as this might sound, BT, he's gone back to defending first. So why he found himself out of the side was He was so worried about getting involved on the offense that at times he'd roll the dice and get caught out. He's gone back to locking away a man and then at the right time making those decisions going forward, which he's so good at. Great ball user, great speed. That's why he's going back to enjoying his football.
West to Bontempelli. The Dogs so effectively turn the ball over on the wing and create the scoring opportunity. Bontempelli's kicked a couple. One of the pleasing things for the Dogs tonight would be that it hasn't fallen squarely on the shoulders of Bontempelli. It's been a very even performance.
Look good for Dan Butler, does it?
He's hobbling his way to the interchange.
That looks like a hamstring to me.
A bad one.
Yep.
Dejected.
The set shot kicking tonight has been something to behold for the Bullies. Bont's got 3. This has been a real night for the Western Bulldogs. Bontempelli, 3 goals alongside his name to go with 23 disposals, 6 score involvements, made the 5 tackles. And he can have a well-earned sit down.
Beautiful fluent kicking action from Marcus Bontempelli. 3 goals tonight, and what a leader he is, what a player, what a great advertisement for our game. And that's the sad story of Sam Butler, who looks like he's done his right hamstring there. Dan Butler, sorry. Looks like he's done his right hamstring there. Doesn't look good, Aaron, does it?
No, dejected was the word that you used, guys, and yeah, he's gone straight down. But on a brighter note, Marcus Bontempelli got a huge standing ovation as he came off in.
Yes. Soccer off the ground here for the Saints. Ross was in there. Duray working hard. Sharman. O'Donnell under immediate pressure. Lifted up. Higgins. Thought about Steele. Went back with an inverted torp here. Off hands. Sharman got another look at it. Little handball there. He had a 3rd look at it, Sharman. And diced it through for a minor.
I know I talked about Lucas Herbert's influence earlier, but I'll tell you who will be a happy man, and that is Brad Johnson, who is the actual goal-kicking expert down at the Western Bulldogs, the Bulldog champ. He was, even Jono was struggling to smile about how their goal-kicking had been this season. He was a bit flat with it all, but tonight he'd be delighted with 14-2 from set shots.
2 weeks ago, I think we saw them kicking with blindfolds on.
Yes, we did.
So between Lucas Herbert, blindfolds, and Brad Johnson, we found the great recipe to goal kicking.
I'd still be sending the invoice in if I was Lucas Herbert too.
The herbs and spices.
BT, you're a Coleman medalist. What would you have said if it suggested you might pop the blindfold on to do some kicking practice?
Yeah, you know what I would have said. But it sounds good, and it sounds new age, and it sounds like Daisy and Joel's Jen, but weird as hell.
Move it on. Play on. Yes.
So Gallagher. Naughton flying from deep. Waitman, who had another sensational start to the game today. Kicking 3 in the first quarter, I think it was. Carmen's trying to nudge Owens under the footy. Here's Bailey Dale. Little handball there to Gallagher. Back to Dale. Carmen's now. Stolen from him by Windhager. Owens now trying to avoid the tackle. The pressure was good. Garcia the interception. Duray now. Sanders the young gun. Through to Treloar. The linking run of Johannesson. Very unselfishly wide to Bailey Williams. He's a thumping kick from 35 out. He pulls it left.
Weston in the pocket, but elected to take the shot. Battle to Stocker.
Outside 5.
I mentioned it earlier, BT. The heaviest defeat Ross Lyon has ever suffered as a St Kilda coach, going back to his first tenure. So this is his 151st game in charge. 61 points against Carlton in 2010. So there's a chance he'll be suffering his worst loss tonight unless the Saints can find a few late goals in memory. He's been doing it in the last quarter. He's a chance to kick his 3rd.
Tim, that's your line. Stand, Tim.
These are the opportunities you get when you continue to work on a night where some of his teammates could be questioned on their work rate and their effort right to this final siren. He's certainly not giving up, as we see again. Dan Butler looks like a bad hamstring that he's gone off with.
Remember his curling kick. There's another consolation goal for the Saints. He's got 3, all in the last quarter. He's looked composed and calm in the box all night, Rossline, even despite the difficult nature of what's unfolded out on the ground for his side. They will be 2 and 4. The percentage that has been dented as a result of tonight.
And I had the tough task of putting together the top 4 for the night, but it was Bailey Dale that started it all off with Jason Johannesson, I reckon. Off that back line, they made the dirty ball go in to the Saints forward line, and they were just delivering it beautifully into the Bulldogs. Naughton with 6 goals, and then Jack McRae, great to see him back around the ball and playing well. A game-high 7 tackles.
Pelly to Trelaw. Trelaw out of the middle, tweaking a high ball. Here comes Lobb. Attacking it fast. Garcia got it to Lobb. West. Williams. Wide ball to Dale. High ball's one to the top of the square. Lobb might have a big chance here. Knocked away from him, and it goes over the line out of bounds. Just interesting that both sides have almost used their 75 interchanges here tonight, Alan. When you think that coaches at one stage, I remember going to Perth to watch a game with Mick Malthouse. Days you might have been playing. I think they had a record 160 interchanges. Hasn't it been great for the game that they've been able to peg that back to a realistic, 75?
Yeah, it's one of a few good adjustments that have been made to open up the game a touch. The 6-6-6, another one of those. Harms intercepts.
Just want to put in a couple of apologies to the top players too. Liam Jones, a cracking game. Marcus Bontempelli finishes with a mad rush, and
I'm going to say you've missed a few.
Rory Lobb put a few more, and sorry, Rory Lobb, of course.
Harms from 55 out. Don't quite have the carry. Lobb in the pack, and Bonner sees it through for a rush behind. Margin 65. A little bit disappointing tonight. 26,719.
Rory Lobb tonight's had 9 inside 50s, just reading the stats. I think he's best ever. And, oh boy, he's only thereabouts. As Sam Darcy goes over the top, here's Williams.
You'll have him winning the Brownlow at this rate, BT.
Well, he's done OK and come back into the side, been under pressure, and really the boys haven't looked all that closely at him. Here's Johannesson. Ray now is going to kick on his right then. So this has just been a massive game in front of 26,719 people. 65 points for the Dogs. 3.5 minutes remaining, off hands for Bontempelli. And the question's answered for him whether they'd give him a rest. That is an absolute definite no with 3.5 minutes to go.
Anthony, hold the meter.
You were going to run it out. Tim English to Richards. Caminiti. Sky High's one. O'Donnell the thumping spoil. Windhager. And Bontempelli with the tackle, carefully lowering Stocker to the ground.
That's a perfect.
They learn quick.
Absolutely, that is the perfect example. Had Stocker cold there, left the ground, arms up.
McRae had his hand pass taken away by Stocker. Darcy feeds it back infield to O'Donnell. Tackle dispossessed by Sharman. Fed up by Membry to a spinning Owens. Gets it off to Garcia to Hill. Hard on the boundary. Oh, he's completely miscued that.
And that's why it's so important days to watch as players, because you can pick up the trends of the game and how they're changing so quickly, and tackling is a big part of that right now.
Just the efforts of Liam Jones there. Now, again, this game is put to bed. 65 points the margin. Corralling with intensity and speed, diving across the leg of Bradley Hill, forces the ball to go out of bounds on the full. That's why he's such a loved teammate. Doesn't matter what situation the game's in. He's a player that has to bring his best effort every week to be in the side, and he continues to do that.
That is a beautiful pass. Dale finds a leading West on the half-back flank.
Been good, Riley West, hasn't he? Really improved his game, been given opportunity. And he's grabbed hold of that. At the back is Steele. Bonner. Looking for Windhager on the inside. Did well. Geraghty's played well tonight. There's Geray. I know Joel didn't even get him in his top 10.
I know he's 11th. We spoke about Bontempelli earlier in this quarter about how he looks after himself. He's sitting at full forward at the moment.
The Dogs at half-back to Harms. Just having a look at the Western Bulldogs run over the next couple of weeks. Fremantle, Hawthorn, Richmond and the Giants. So a chance, not without a chance there with that run L to get themselves back right in the thick of things.
McRae, English, pulls it in. Yeah, you're right, BT. That's why tonight was so important for them, and particularly given all the noise around the club this week, that the dreaded external noise that can hover over a club.
Tim.
Put that to bed tonight.
Tim.
Just saw the numbers on the screen there. It's now plus 76 marks to the Western Bulldogs. 76 more. Incredible. There's a lack of defensive pressure if you ever want to paint a picture.
Yep.
English has kicked one. And that is not going to make it two. So the Bulldogs by 11 goals.
Sinclair. Your Ross line, you walk into the rooms, Joel, at the end of this game. Are you holding any words for training, or are you pretty clear in your thoughts, do you think, about what you should say and what you shouldn't say right now?
No, personally, I think you probably hold them back. You have a look over it. It might be a quick look at different stages and work out what your best footy is and take it in. Like the next game that they're backing up against Port Adelaide, you've got to move on pretty quick at different stages.
Windhager. Geray, terrific. Jones, likewise. Kick not his best to Burns, and with a couple of seconds remaining, the Dogs are going to position themselves nicely at 3-3. And a great position they find themselves in. Luke Beveridge, very, very happy. So if he doesn't kick this goal, it'll be Ross's heaviest loss since joining the Saints as their coach. Looks pretty much on line, so might have saved the day there. It has. 60 points even. The victory tonight for the Western Bulldogs. Western Bulldogs tonight with their season. 3-3 is a pretty good position for them to be in right now. They would be happy with their recovery. Luke Beveridge and his team have come under a lot of pressure in the last couple of weeks. Great to see them step on the gas very early. Let's get downstairs to Aaron.
Thanks, guys. Got Bailey Dale. 39 possessions, a career high for you. Tell us about this game after a very, very noisy week for your football club.
Yeah, there's obviously a lot of noise during the week. We just knew we had to come out here and try to play a really hard brand of footy, move the footy. And yeah, I think we did that tonight. It was a really good performance.
Talk about your forward line in particular. It looks so dynamic down there, especially the start of that first quarter. It really set the tone.
Yeah, obviously losing Mara. Lobby's come in and played a crucial role. Great contest. Aaron down there as well. Das as well, and then all the smalls getting to their feet. It was good. They put on the pressure and gave us a chance to keep it in there.
And you even snuck in a goal for yourself as well.
yeah, it's always good to get down into the 50 and try to put one through, but yeah, it's good.
Great win. Good luck next week.
Very much. Cheers. Thanks.
So a week when it was suggested mixed messages were coming out of the kennel, the Western Bulldogs send the clearest of messages to the competition about where they stand and what they are capable of. Let's go back downstairs to Aaron.
Yes, guys. Well, I've got one of the guys who set the tone for tonight, Cody. Fantastic win tonight. How'd you see it?
Yeah, great win, obviously. St Kilda's kept teams to really low scores this year, so to put on a big score is great, and all the forwards got involved, which I'm pretty happy about.
Now, there is a little bit of a whisper that you guys have a professional golf goal-kicking coach. Is that true?
I don't know. He just popped in for a day. I don't even know golf, so I wasn't as starstruck a few of the boys, but they're all obsessed with golf, so they all loved it.
We obviously learnt something. You kicked pretty straight tonight.
We did, and that's thanks to Brad Johnson more than anything, I think. Brad's worked with us all off the off-season, and we put it to work, and I think, yeah, it's paying off now. And there was a bit of pressure early when we started missing in the year, but credit to Brad. He's been a great addition.
Go enjoy the win. Well done, Cody.
Thank you. Appreciate it.